Hey recruits, welcome back to another lesson. Today, we're tackling ratios, proportions, and unit conversions. These are essential skills, especially for word problems you'll encounter on the ASVAB. Whether you're figuring out how long it'll take to complete a task, or how to divide resources efficiently, you'll use these techniques in real-life situations and on the test. Let's get started. Example 1. Proportions in recipe problems. Imagine you're making a recipe. The recipe calls for 4 cups of flour for every 2 cups of sugar. But you only have 6 cups of flour. How many cups of sugar will you need to keep the proportions the same? All right, now let's solve for x, the amount of sugar. We do this by cross multiplying. So that would give us 4x equals 12. Now, we need to divide both sides by 4, leaving us with x equals 3. So, you'll need 3 cups of sugar to keep the ratios the same. Example 2. Finding unit rate. Let's say you're driving 180 miles in 3 hours. What is the unit rate in miles per hour? We can write this out as 180 over 180 miles over 3 hours. So what we would do is divide 180 by 3. Three goes into 1, 0 times. 3 goes into 18, 6 times. 3 times 6, 18, cancels out. Bring the 0 down. So 180 over 3 equals 60 miles per hour. You can use this to figure out how far you can travel in a different amount of time, or how much time it will take to cover a certain distance. Let's move on to the next one. Example 3, direct proportion. Let's take a look at direct proportions. A direct proportion means that as one quantity increases, the other increases at the same rate. For example, if 2 soldiers can carry 4 boxes, how many boxes can 5 soldiers carry? Assuming each soldier carries the same amount. So we can set this up as 2 over 4 equals 5 over x. Now we just cross multiply. 2 times x equals 4 times 5. This leaves us with 2x equals 20. Now we divide both sides by 2, and we get x equals 10. So 5 soldiers can carry 10 boxes. Since this is a direct proportion, the relationship between soldiers and boxes is consistent. If you add more soldiers, you can carry more boxes. And that's just a simple representation of a direct proportion problem that you'll see on the ASVAB. Example 4, indirect proportion. Now, let's talk about indirect proportions. An indirect proportion means that as one quantity increases, the other decreases. A classic example is if we're working with time and speed. Let's say it takes 3 hours for 4 soldiers to complete a task. How long would it take 6 soldiers to do the same task? 4 soldiers (3 hours) equals 6 soldiers over x hours. Now, as you know, we cross multiply. So we can write this as 4 times x equals 6 times 3. You could simplify for x equals 18. Now we must divide both sides by 4 and we get x equals 18 over 4. Now, we can simplify this fraction or we just divide. An easy way is just to divide. We set this up as 4 into 18. 4 goes in 18 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. 18 minus 16 is 2. And then we can do the process over. 4 goes into 2 0 times, with 20 5 times. So we add a decimal here. So the answer is x equals 4.5. So it will take 6 soldiers 4.5 hours to complete the task. Remember, with indirect proportions, if one quantity goes up, the other goes down, like more soldiers reducing the time needed to complete the task. Example 5. Distance and speed conversions. Finally, let's dive into unit conversions. This is especially important for military and real-world situations. You need to be able to convert between different units of measurement like distance, weight, and time. Let's say you're driving a vehicle and you need to convert speed from miles per hour to kilometers per hour. This conversion factor is 1 mile equals 1.60934 kilometers. If you're traveling at 50 miles per hour, how fast are you going in kilometers? Let's solve this. So we know that we can set our problem up like this. Equals. And if you know this in your head, then you can just solve it for the ASVAB as quickly as possible. Now, if you don't know this in your head, you'll have to do manual long multiplication. And here's how you can do that. Four times 0, 0. 4 times 5 is 20. Since 20 is larger than 9, we just bring the 20 down as a partial, and we move on. Now we start with 3. We're in the tens place, so we add a 0. Now we can start in the tens place. 3 times 3 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. Moving on. Now we're in the hundreds place, so we add our zeros. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 5 is 45. Now we can move down. So we're at our zeros to catch up to where we are. And see here, past the hundreds place, past the thousands place. Okay, now we're in the right place. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 5 is 30. All right? Now we can, lastly, add our last zeros. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. Now we can simply add this up to get the answer. Kind of long, but if you don't know the answer and it's a long answer, then you just have to do it 0, 0, 7, 6, 4, decimal 0, 8. And this is our answer, 80.467. So 50 miles per hour is approximately 80.47 kilometers per hour, if we round it all up. Example 6. Military weight conversions. Next, let's convert weight from pounds to kilograms. The conversion factor is 1 pound equals 0.45 kilograms. If you're carrying 200 pounds, how many kilograms is that? Okay, so once again, when we're doing long multiplication, if you can't do the problems out of your head, then you have to do long multiplication. So we can just start with 2 times 0, 0, 2 times 0, 0, 2 times 2, 4. All right, now we're starting in the tens place, so we add a 0. 9 times 0, 0. 9 times 0, 0. 9 times 2, 18. All right, now we're moving on to the hundreds place, so we add our zeros. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 2, 10. Okay. We'll add our zeros. 0, 0, 0. And we're in the thousands place now. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. All right. So now we can move on to the 10,000s place. So 0, 0, 0, 0. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 2, 10. Okay. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 4 times 0, 0. 4 times 0, 0. 4 times 0, 0. 4 times 2, 8. Now we simply add 9, 0, 7, 1, 8, 4, 0, 0. So our answer is 90.718. 200 pounds is about 90.7, if we round up, 90.72 kilograms. Great job today. Now you know how to solve proportion problems, work with unit rates, and convert units. Skills you'll definitely need for the ASVAB and real-life applications. In the next lesson, we'll cover advanced algebra and geometry problems. Keep practicing and you'll be ready for anything. I'll see you guys there.